Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 19. Come, this is your uncle. Lu Shu patted Shen Cao's shoulder and said to Zhang Moyang, quick, address him properly. Why should I? Zhang Moyang instantly exploded, I only lost to you, not to him. If you have the guts, tell him to gamble with me. Lu Shu whispered to Shen Cao, do gamble with him, I have a way to let you win. Hey, I can hear you. Zhang Moyang exclaimed angrily. Shen Cao smiled and said, no need, I don't have the hobby of being called uncle. Zhang Moyang snorted, pointed to the homework in his hand and said, this is the homework assigned by the teacher today. Finish it earlier, and I'll come to collect it tonight. Okay, Shen Cao nodded. You, forget it. Zhang Moyang looked him up and down, then turned disdainfully and left. When there were only 3 people left in the room, Shen Cao looked deeply at Lu Shu, his gaze falling on the wooden dice on the table. It was roughly made. Most probably, he had made it himself. Lu Shu quickly grabbed it back and stuffed it into his arms, pretending to be weak. Ahem, I feel a bit dizzy, I'm going to bed. Shen Cao sat down, opened the homework and without lifting his head, asked Hui Shang at the table, how did things develop like this? 2 gambling addicts ran into each other. Why didn't you stop it? They said they'd buy me pancakes to eat. Hui Shang licked his lips. Shen Cao looked at him for a while, where are the pancakes? Hui Shang paused, then suddenly looked at Lu Shu, where are the pancakes? You're eating them right now, Lu Shu said with a grin. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Shortly after, the doctor came to examine Lu Shu's body again and prescribed several more medications. Although these medicinal herbs are a bit expensive, they have better effects. Lu Shu immediately wanted to say he wanted cheaper ones, but Shen Cao preemptively said, all right, what else do we need to buy? Also remember to supplement your nutrition regularly. The doctor introduced some supplementary items. Okay, Shen Cao noted them down one by one and personally escorted the doctor downstairs. Once he came back in the room, he found Lu Shu hitting the bed. How dare he? He even dared to prescribe lingzi and ginseng. Shen Cao walked over and patted his head to comfort him. The most important thing for you now is to rest. Stop hitting the bed. If you break it, we'll have to pay for it. Lu Shu immediately stopped. After taking the medicine, Hui Shang prepared to return to the temple, which was not far from the inn. If Lu Shu wasn't feeling weak now, he would have thought about going with him for a stroll. Only the sound of Shen Cao flipping through the pages of the book remained in the room. Lu Shu stared at his figure sitting by the window. He stared and stared until he started to feel drowsy and fell asleep in a daze. When he woke up again, it was already dark outside, and the other person was still sitting in the same position, writing and hardly changing his posture. Are you awake? Shen Cao heard the movement and turned his head. Thirsty? A little bit. Lu Shu just sat up and the teacup was already at his lips. He took it, sipping it slowly while feeling inexplicably delighted and reluctant to finish it in one gulp. When are we going back home? Lu Shu reluctantly handed the cup back to him. We'll stay here for a few more days. Shen Cao poured him another cup, which he quickly accepted and sipped slowly. But staying and eating here isn't cheap. It's okay, your health is the priority. We'll go back only when you fully recover, Shen Cao said. Don't worry about money. How can I not worry? He had just asked Zhang Moyang and he hadn't even received this month's salary yet. He had only received a small advance from Zhang Moyang, which was far from enough for this kind of spending. An idea came to his mind. No going to the gambling den, Shen Cao saw through him at a glance. Lu Shu, ... Lu Shu's eyes shifted back, looking at him pitifully. I just want to contribute to this household. You can do that without going there. Ugh. That night, Lu Shu suddenly realized a problem. He looked at the only bed in the room and asked, where did you sleep last night? On the floor. That's not good, the ground is damp. What if you get sick too? This household can't afford another person getting sick, Lu Shu said. It's okay, the weather now. Sleep here, Lu Shu patted the bed, looking at him eagerly. It might affect your rest. It won't, I sleep deeply. You won't be affected at all, Lu Shu said confidently. Shen Kao was still a bit hesitant, but Lu Shu said, I feel bad that you had been spending so much money on me these past few days and still making you sleep on the floor. I won't be able to sleep at night because of guilt. Shen Kao looked into his eyes for a while, then smiled, okay. In the darkness, both of them instinctively moved to their respective sides to avoid disturbing each other's rest. Soon, Shen Kao regretted it. He indeed wouldn't disturb Lu Shu's rest, but that didn't mean that Lu Shu wouldn't disturb his rest. He raised his left hand to move away the hand that suddenly hit his chest, and his ankle was unexpectedly kicked. He carefully tucked his feet away, but Lu Shu inadvertently hooked one leg onto his waist. Shen Kao, ... As the dawn broke, Lu Shu squinted, looking at the white collar in front of him. Groggily, he rubbed his head against it a few times before continuing to sleep against this warm chest. The person tightly held in his arms slowly opened his eyes and looked down at him. He relaxed his clenched fist a bit, raised his hand to cautiously explore the air, not knowing how to retreat without waking the other up. At this moment, the door suddenly swung open, and Hui Shang walked in, stood by the bed, and locked eyes with Shen Kao. Lu Shu woke up slightly and was about to lift his head, but Hui Shang left as if he understood something, closing the door behind him. What's wrong? Lu Shu yawned and asked. Nothing, go back to sleep, Shen Kao patted his head. ******. For the past few days, Lu Shu ate and slept well, waking up early with someone caring for him, making life surprisingly comfortable. But his conscience troubled him, and he confided in Shen Kao that he felt that he was being a burden. Don't overthink it, you're just sick now. But I don't know how to do anything. Let me tell you a secret. It's been half a month and I can't even cut bamboo strips neatly, Lu Shu said sorrowfully. I know, but the bamboo weaver said that the bamboo dragonfly you made is very good. Maybe your abilities haven't been fully discovered yet. It's also possible that you're more suited for something else. Don't be disheartened, every cloud has a silver lining. Every cloud has a silver lining. Lu Shu had a sudden realization. You're right, I indeed can't have too much silver on me. Maybe I'm just suited to be a good-for-nothing. Shen Kao, ... Is that what it was supposed to mean? Soon, Zhang Moyang came over to collect the homework again. These past few days, Lu Shu had also figured out Shen Kao's daily routine. Usually, Shen Kao would come to town from home early in the morning, have a meal, and then Zhang Moyang would bring him homework to do. In the evening, he would come to collect it. Now that he was staying in the inn due to his illness, Shen Kao didn't have to go back to the village, so he had more time, and Zhang Moyang started coming later and later. This guy would come in with a strong scent of alcohol, pretend to look at the homework, and sway at the table. Worried that he might stumble, Shen Kao pushed him onto a chair and poured him a glass of water. Drink some water. Lu Shu's eyes widened as he stared at the cup of tea by Zhang Moyang's mouth. Zhang Moyang turned his head. What are you looking at? Lu Shu sat at the table, turned his head away and didn't even give him a glance. Zhang Moyang chuckled and put down the cup. He went to ruffle Lu Shu's hair. I find you somewhat attractive. You're more interesting than that big block of wood, Kao. As they tugged and pulled, Shen Kao stepped forward to separate them. However, unexpectedly, Zhang Moyang suddenly said, Actually, I find you more pleasing to the eye. What do you think about being my brother-in-law? Shen Kao instinctively looked at Lu Shu, who shook off his hand. I'm a generation older than that, am I not your father? Father, be my brother-in-law, Zhang Moyang grabbed his arm, drunkenly saying, Go meet my sister. She's been enchanted by Cao. Besides having a good-looking face, what else does he have? Lu Shu and Shen Cao froze simultaneously, looking at the drunkard in confusion. They exchanged a glance, and Shen Cao waved his hand. I don't know what he's talking about. Are you saying that your sister likes K? Lu Shu steadied Zhang Moyang and asked carefully, do you know what you're talking about? How could it be false? My sister is even planning to marry this poor guy and send him to take the imperial examination. Zhang Moyang said grumpily. Father, you have to consider our little sister. The servant brought the grumbling Zhang Moyang back home. Lu Shu turned to stare at Shen Cao, who was making the bed just like usual, seemingly unaffected. Even the parties involved didn't seem to feel anything. So why did he, an outsider, felt a bit stifled? This feeling persisted until the next day. When Shen Cao left to get today's homework from the Zhang family, Lu Shu was on the verge of extreme frustration. What are you doing? Hui Shang pushed open the door and saw him leaning out of the window with almost half of his body out. He quickly rushed over to pull Lu Shu back in. If there's something bothering you, talk to me. I can help you become a monk. Who wants to become a monk? I'm just wondering when Ah Cao will come back. Lu Shu collapsed onto the table with frustration, like a kite with a broken string, swaying unsteadily. What happened? Hui Shang asked. Lu Shu pursed his lips and recounted last night's events. After listening, Hui Shang rubbed his chin. This is a good thing. Young Miss Zhang is wealthy and Brother Cao is talented. It's a perfect match. A perfect match? Zhang Moyang said his sister is infatuated with his appearance alone. She doesn't even understand that liking someone shouldn't be solely based on their appearance. Lu Shu paused and snorted. You also need to take a look at your own appearance. Young Miss Zhang's appearance, Hui Shang couldn't help but reminisce, is also top-notch. Have you seen her? Lu Shu was curious. She's so beautiful that I want to leave the monastery for her. Hui Shang said solemnly. Lu Shu, ... Hey, don't use such a serious tone to say such things, you stinky monk. End chapter. Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 20. This is good news, Hui Shang said, it might be Brother Cao's good fortune. We should be happy for him. Lu Shu lay on the table, his eyelids drooping, his fingers rubbing the edge of the teacup, turning it over and over again. He heard his own weak voice said, what is this maiden like? She's kind, generous and often gives out porridge. Many people in the town like her. Including you. Hui Shang nodded, I have received many favors from her, and she has never cursed me as a stinky monk or a bald donkey or a fraud. Are you talking about me? Lu Shu looked up belatedly, staring at him. Hui Shang chuckled, they are both talented and virtuous, and the Zhang family is well off. If they can really make this match, it will undoubtedly be a great joy for Brother Cao. Lu Shu frowned, what great joy is there to have? It's just a bit of dirty money, like everyone else. But we don't have any. Hui Shang spread out his empty hands. Lu Shu, ... Lu Shu sat up discontentedly, actually, I could get some. But what does it have to do with you? What's your relationship with Brother Cao? Hui Shang asked pointedly. Of course, we're good brothers. We have a deep bond. Lu Shu exclaimed. As a brother, shouldn't you be happy for him? Should I? Lu Shu slumped back onto the table, muttering, then why can't I feel happy? Because you, Hui Shang lowered his head, gazing at him for a while with an expression that saw through his facade, are jealous of him. Lu Shu, ... You're jealous that young Miss Zhang who is such a good person has eyes for him instead of you, aren't you? Hui Shang chuckled. Rubbish! Lu Shu exclaimed angrily, what's so good about that maiden Zhang? I'm friends with the top 10 beauties. I've seen all kinds of beauties. As soon as he finished speaking, footsteps sounded outside the door, followed by the door opening. Then Shen Kao walked in, holding 2 books in his hand, with a breeze brushing through his sleeves as he pushed the wooden door open. Lu Shu stared at him dumbfounded. What's wrong? Shen Kao stood in front of him, slightly puzzled, still with a hint of a smile in his tone. You look like you've seen a ghost. Lu Shu was indeed stunned and completely dumbfounded. Did you see young Miss Zhang today? Hui Shang asked from the side. No. Shen Kao sat down at another table and opened the book, ready to complete today's task. Seeing that he didn't seem to be affected by this matter, Hui Shang stopped asking any more questions and stood up to leave. I'm going out to do something. Lu Shu immediately followed. I'll accompany you. Hui Shang paused. I'm going to pay homage. Then I'll accompany you. Let's go. Lu Shu grabbed him and walked out quickly. Shen Kao looked at the 2 of them leaving together in puzzlement. After a moment, he turned and looked out the window, only to see the 2 of them walking arm in arm down the street, leaving without looking back, their bright figures somewhat dazzling. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. You little rascal, are you going to mooch porridge? Lu Shu squeezed Hui Shang's neck and asked. Cough, cough. Hui Shang couldn't break free and could only reluctantly nodded as he said, today is indeed the day young Miss Zhang distributes porridge. Confess honestly, did you accept her favor and come specifically to matchmake for Ah Cao? Lu Shu exerted some force. Cough, cough. Nonsense. I'm a monk. Monks don't do matchmakers' work. Hui Shang said firmly, I just simply think that their porridge tastes good. Humph, how good can it be? Lu Shu scoffed. Half an hour later. Damn, it's really good. Lu Shu squatted in the corner, holding a bowl in his hands. The porridge inside was all gone, leaving only a bit of residue sticking to the bowl. He turned to look at Hui Shang's bowl and the latter had already begun licking the bottom of it. There were quite a few people squatting around, men, women, young, and old, all praising young Miss Zhang. Lu Shu turned to look at the porridge stall. Young Miss Zhang was indeed very beautiful, with a dignified appearance and gentle temperament. After distributing the porridge, she was waiting for people to pack things up and prepare to leave. How about it? After seeing young Miss Zhang, are you moved or jealous? Hui Shang asked. I told you, I'm not jealous. Lu Shu snapped. You didn't deny being moved. Lu Shu, ... Lu Shu pinched his arm angrily, I'm not moved. I won't like her just because of a bowl of porridge. Is that so? Suddenly, a smiling voice sounded beside him. Lu Shu was surprised. He turned his head and the first thing he saw was a pair of delicate and small shoes, then slowly raised his head to meet the gaze of young Miss Zhang. Young Miss Zhang squatted down, looked at him for a moment with a smile and said, You're that good friend of Cao Shen, right? You know me. Lu Shu couldn't help but be surprised. Cao Shen often mentions you to my elder brother. Lu Shu pursed his lips and couldn't help but smirk. Oh, what did he say? He said that he can't come back too late, or else people at home will starve. Lu Shu twitched his mouth while Hui Shang's shoulders trembled twice and burst out laughing directly. Then you recognized me just based on that? Yes, but also because Hui Shang is by your side. Young Miss Zhang smiled lightly. She signaled to the maid, who immediately took out a sachet and presented it to Hui Shang. This is this month's incense money. Hui Shang murmured Amitabha, and naturally accepted it. Lu Shu, ... From their conversation, he learned that Hui Shang had known young Miss Zhang for a long time. Young Miss Zhang was a regular visitor to their temple and it was from her that Hui Shang learned that Zhang Moyang was looking for someone to transcribe books for him, so he immediately introduced Ah Cao to her. Lu Shu sneaked a glance at Hui Shang and whispered when young Miss Zhang walked ahead, so you knew early on that she had ulterior motives for Ah Cao. I only learned about it from Zhang Moyang last night, and besides, how can you call it ulterior motives? What else can you call it? A hidden agenda? Concealing evil intentions? Being fickle? Unable to make up one's mind? If you don't know how to use idioms, then don't force it. Asterisk asterisk asterisk. After burning a stick of incense, the three of them sat at the table. Lu Shu looked at young Miss Zhang sitting across from him. May I know Miss' full name? Zhang Moshan. She smiled lightly and signaled for the waiter to serve quickly. Then she smiled at Lu Shu and said, I've heard of your name for a long time, and I've always wanted to meet you. I didn't expect it to happen today. Lu Shu looked at the plates of delicious food that was being served and said, Miss is too kind. Zhang Moshan entertained them with delicious food and drink, spoke generously and had only nice things to say to the both of them. Unconsciously, they had already eaten most of the food, and the wine was almost finished. Do you want to order more dishes? Zhang Moshan asked. No need. Lu Shu swayed the wine pot and said drunkenly, just say what you need from me. Zhang Moshan lowered her head and smiled. When she raised her head again, her cheeks were slightly flushed. My brother told me about last night's matter, but what I want to know is Cao Shen's reaction to it. He didn't react at all. Lu Shu said. Zhang Moshan turned to look at Hui Shang. Hui Shang didn't have a drop of alcohol and nodded very honestly, that's true. Zhang Mo Shang let out a long sigh and asked again, Xiao Wu, do you know what type of person he likes? I don't know, we've never talked about it before. Lu Shu replied truthfully. Do you know if he has ever liked someone before? I'm not sure. In the end, the three of them all rested their cheeks on their hands, lost in their own thoughts. When it got dark, they all went their separate ways. Hui Shang supported Lu Shu's shoulder and bid farewell to Zhang Moshan. Zhang Moshan smiled and asked, Xiao Wu, can you help me by saying a few good words about me in front of him? Lu Shu was about to speak, but he suddenly felt a bit nauseous and immediately ran to a nearby tree. Miss, it's getting late, let's hurry back, otherwise master and the young master will worry. The maid urged. Zhang Moshan nodded and instructed Hui Shang to take care of Lu Shu, then left first. Are you okay? Hui Shang walked over to support Lu Shu. You used to boast about being able to hold your liquor. Lu Shu was feeling uncomfortable, he waved his hand and then leaned on Hui Shang's shoulder. They stumbled back to the inn while Lu Shu muttered on the way, I couldn't have gotten drunk after just a few pots, there must be something wrong with the wine. She must have drugged it. She also took a sip. Then it must have been the last pot that was tampered with, otherwise why am I feeling so dizzy now? It doesn't make sense. Hearing the noisy commotion outside, Shen Cao put down his brush, got up and opened the door. Lu Shu was not paying attention and stumbled on the threshold with his hand reaching out to Shen Cao, and luckily, he was steadied in time. Did you go out drinking? Shen Cao smelled the alcohol on him, looking at Hui Shang incredulously, you guys went out drinking behind my back. No, we were invited by young Miss Zhang. I didn't drink a drop. Hui Shang hurriedly explained. Shen Cao hugged Lu Shu back to the table, feeding him water while asking, how did you end up drinking together? It's a long story, but basically young Miss Zhang wanted to establish friendly relations with us to further develop relationship with you, Hui Shang said. Shen Cao frowned slightly as he turned to wring a handkerchief to wipe Lu Shu's face. Then he carried Lu Shu to bed before turning back to Hui Shang and said, don't let him drink any more. He had been sick recently and hasn't fully recovered yet. I saw him drinking quite heavily, and I didn't have time to stop him. Shen Cao turned his head and looked at the person with flushed cheeks. Feeling that someone was taking off his clothes, Lu Shu half opened one eye and saw that it was Shen Cao. He closed his eyes again and rolled over in bed, but was soon held down by a pair of hands. Don't move, you might fall. Lu Shu still wanted to move. Don't move, we'll have to pay for the bed if it breaks. He stopped moving this time. Put your hands out. Lu Shu complied, took off his outer garment, and then rolled over to one side by himself. After waiting for a while and not feeling the person getting into bed, he pounded the bed and sat up, groggily asking, "Why aren't you sleeping yet?" "I'm here." Shen Cao calculated the expenses for the past few days and put away the account book. He blew out the candle, but as soon as he lay down, he felt something crawling on him. Usually Lu Shu was well behaved before going to bed, but at this moment he seemed to have already entered a post-sleep state, with his hands hooked around the Shen Cao's neck, legs draped over his body and his breath smelling of alcohol. Shen Cao pinched Lu Shu's ear and asked, "What did young Miss Zhang said to you?" "She asked what kind of person you like," Lu Shu mumbled. "Anything else?" Shen Cao asked softly. Lu Shu twitched and he felt an itching in his ear. In retaliation, he lifted his head and in the darkness found Shi Kei's earlobes. He then turned to whisper in his ears, "She also asked me to put in some good words about her to you. Did you agree?" Shen Cao asked with a smile. "I said I would, will you listen?" "I don't know, why don't you try?" "I won't try." Lu Shu suddenly turned over, facing away from him and almost sticking to the wall. "Xiao Wu." No response. "Are you angry?" Still no response. "I confiscated the dice." "Don't." Lu Shu turned back, hands searching all over him. "I was wondering why I couldn't find my treasure today." Shen Cao laughed as he was tickled. He grabbed Lu Shu's hands and asked, "Why are you upset?" "I don't know." Lu Shu's fingers still resisted, "I really don't know." "Then I'll give you the dice back, but you can't be angry anymore, okay?" "Okay." Shen Cao took out the wooden dice from under the pillow and Lu Shu took it as if it were a treasure, not knowing why he suddenly cared about it. After a while, just as Lu Shu was about to fall asleep, he suddenly felt a hand slip into his palm, and accidentally clasped it with his own fingers. Lu Shu, ... Lu Shu suddenly opened his eyes, feeling half of his drunkenness had gone. Shen Cao took the opportunity to take the dice from his hand, "Sleep well and don't touch it anymore." To his surprise, this time Lu Shu was very obedient and didn't make a fuss anymore, allowing him to take the dice away. In the darkness, Lu Shu slowly pressed one hand against his chest. Damn, his heart suddenly started racing like a racehorse. It was pounding so hard. Was Shen Cao trying to kill him? End chapter. Dandy escapes from marriage. Chapter 21. It wasn't yet dawn when Lu Shu woke up. To be precise, he hadn't slept well all night. He gently turned his head to look at Shen Cao, who was sleeping soundly, and felt his heart pounding wildly in his chest again. He watched quietly for a while, then suddenly Shen Cao's eyelids twitched slightly. Lu Shu immediately closed his eyes and pretended to be asleep. After a moment, the blanket was gently lifted and Shen Cao quietly got out of bed and left the room. Soon, there was movement at the door, footsteps getting closer and stopping at the nearby table. Lu Shu discreetly squinted one eye open to see Shen Cao with his back turned, placing a basin of water he had prepared on the table and washing his face. The sound of water was very light, and he deliberately made the motion of washing the cloth gentle. After washing his face, Shen Cao washed his hands again before going out to fetch water and instructing the inn staff to prepare breakfast. When he returned to the room, Lu Shu had already gotten up and was getting dressed. Shen Cao looked slightly surprised. "You're up early today?" Yeah," Lu Shu brushed it off and looked up at him. "When are we going back?" "The doctor said you still need to rest for 2 more days." "We'll go back when you're fully recovered." Shen Cao paused, then asked, "Do you want to go back?" "Yeah, there's nothing fun to do here. I even miss chopping bamboo." Shen Cao walked over, his gaze lingering on Lu Shu's slender waist for a moment, a hint of concern in his voice. "Chopping bamboo is too hard. Why don't you stop? What if you get sick again?" Are you worried about me? Lu Shu's eyes curved, but if I don't chop bamboo, what else can I do? How about, Shen Kao looked around, you help me grind ink. We'll be able to make a living with our monthly salary in a few days. Okay, I don't mind. Anything will do, Lu Shu nodded in agreement. After breakfast, Shen Kao taught him how to grind ink and then sat down to write. Lu Shu watched him write but soon lost focus. His gaze fell on Shen Kao's hand, his slender fingers with distinct joints which was much more attractive than the characters he wrote. Xiao Wu. The ink spilled. Oh, sorry. After a while, Shen Kao called out again, Xiao Wu. Hey. If you're tired, go take a nap. Sorry. Lu Shu yawned, tears welling up in his eyes. He put down the ink block, rubbed his wrist and grimaced, I think chopping bamboo might be more suitable for me. Shen Kao didn't insist anymore but he grabbed Lu Shu's hand. Lu Shu suddenly jerked back, pulling his hands behind his back, looking at him incredulously, with a complex emotion in his eyes that was hard to decipher. I just wanted to help you massage it. I'm not going to hurt you, Shen Kao hurriedly explained. Oh, Lu Shu let out a sigh of relief or regret, turned around and walked out, I'm going out to play for a while. Where are you going? Shen Kao asked. I don't know. Before Lu Shu could finish speaking, there was a knock on the door. He opened it to find Zhang Moyang standing there. Hey, what's up? Zhang Moyang looked at him arrogantly, waved the fan in his hand and was about to speak elegantly but Lu Shu grabbed him and dragged him out. Let's go out and play. Zhang Moyang, ... Zhang Moyang shouted, how did you know I came to find you to play? Wait, let go of me first. The two of them left the inn while bickering. Shen Kao watched their figures from the window. Then he lowered his eyes and looked back at the paper and brush on the table. Was he too boring? Xiao Wu never wanted to play with him. Do you have any brothels here? Lu Shu asked seriously. Zhang Moyang choked unexpectedly, his expression complicated. You have quite the energy. It's early in the morning, shouldn't you give the ladies some rest? No, I just want them to touch my hand. Zhang Moyang's features contorted in disbelief. And I should praise you for your kindness. You just don't understand. How could I not understand? I've touched hands before. As soon as Zhang Moyang finished speaking, he noticed a change in Lu Shu's gaze. How to describe it? It was like a blind cat stumbling upon a dead mouse, with a strange desire filling his hollow eyes. What are you doing? Let me touch it. Hey! Are you coveting my beauty? Zhang Moyang suddenly became cocky. You have good taste. I am. Hey, where are you going? I said the brothel is close. Lu Shu had already walked into the nearby brothel. Unlike the lively atmosphere at night, it was quiet now, with only a few servants cleaning up. Sir, we're not receiving guests now, the madam, who was about to rest, said. Are there still people who haven't rested? I'll only take up the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. The madam's eyes were full of interest, as if saying, You, young man. You look so young and handsome, yet you're done in the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. But seeing young Master Zhang standing beside him, she received them warmly and called for a courtesan who hadn't yet washed up to come out. The courtesan, with professional demeanor, still maintained her seductive posture despite her exhaustion. She blinked at Lu Shu while Zhang Moyang watched with delight. Lu Shu had an expressionless face, then suddenly reached out his hand. Press my hand. The courtesan's slender jade fingers touched his and was about to lean over but Lu Shu suddenly changed his expression and took several steps back. How was it? Zhang Moyang walked over to him and whispered, Did you feel anything? Yes. What is it? I went limp. Zhang Moyang, ... Both the madam and the courtesan were stunned. A new record set, the shortest visit ever. Zhang Moyang walked out of the brothel with a grim expression, looking as if he himself had gone limp. It's all your fault. Now they don't even look at me the same way. Zhang Moyang complained, keeping his distance of 2 meters from him. Lu Shu sighed deeply. Hey! Soon after, Zhang Moyang came over with a mischievous smile, nudging his shoulder. Buddy, are you really limp? No. Hey! I was perfectly fine and hard as a rock this morning, but who knew that woman touching my hand would make me go limp? Lu Shu lamented, and the worst part is, this isn't the first time. I've seen all sorts of beauties before, and I never had any strange thoughts about them. I got it, buddy, you're sick. What sickness? Impotence. Maybe you should see a doctor. I don't understand your condition. Come on, I'll cover the medical expenses. I still want you to be my brother-in-law, but you can't be limp. Zhang Moyang pulled him to see a doctor. After listening to the symptoms, the doctor looked at the two in front of him. He recognized young Master Zhang, who was somewhat handsome, but the man beside him was even more eye-catching. He asked slowly, "You said you were hard this morning?" Ahem, had a reaction and it lasted a long time. Could it be because you saw someone you liked? Lu Shu was stunned. Someone I liked? Yes, this person. The doctor glanced at the eager Zhang Moyang and hinted, perhaps it's even a man. Lu Shu's eyes widened suddenly. After a brief moment of shock, he quickly accepted this fact. Perhaps he had already had a vague answer in his heart but only lacked a convincing explanation. Since the doctor said so, then the crux of the matter was found. That's right, Lu Shu nodded, feeling embarrassed, it's a man. When he touched my hand, Now it was Zhang Moyang's turn to be shocked. Oh my! You can't be my brother-in-law anymore. Lu Shu gave him a glance and patted his shoulder. Quickly pay the genius doctor. Zhang Moyang cursed, feeling like he had lost both money and a brother-in-law. While paying, Lu Shu had already gone out. He lowered his voice and asked the doctor, can he still be saved? The doctor was puzzled. Didn't he see you this morning? Yeah, what's wrong? Zhang Moyang looked at the doctor's expression, not knowing what he was thinking. Suddenly, he widened his eyes in realization. No way, no way. Could it be, he likes me? You can go ask him yourself. Zhang Moyang walked out of the clinic in a daze, but he couldn't find Lu Shu's figure. Where did he run off to? Was he embarrassed? Asterisk. Ah cow. Shen Kao looked up, watching Lu Shu suddenly running back, panting as if there was some good news, with his face flushed, exuding vitality. Why did you come back so soon? Shen Kao also couldn't help but smile. It's nothing, I just suddenly missed you and came back to see you. Lu Shu sat down opposite him, smiling and looking at him for a while, making Shen Kao wonder if he had been hit by a carriage on his way out and had gone mad. He then extended his hand. Here, you wanted to help me with my hand earlier, right? Is your hand still sore? It's sore, really sore. Shen Kao began to massage his hand, and the room was very quiet. After a while, he glanced at the sunlight outside the window and asked, is it too hot? Is it? Your face is all flushed. Why yes. Lu Shu chuckled nervously. He retracted his hand and rubbed at his flushed face. It's better now, not sore anymore. Thank you. Where did you guys go just now? Shen Kao asked again. Just wandered around town. Lu Shu scratched his head, avoiding eye contact. Did you have a good time? Shen Kao pursed his lips, smiling. Do you want me to accompany you for another stroll? No need at all. Lu Shu didn't want to take this well-behaved lad to the brothel. Besides, he was still immersed in his own tender thoughts and didn't notice the fleeting sense of disappointment in Shen Kao's eyes after hearing his words. At this moment, there was a sound of gongs and drums outside, and people around craned their necks to see what was happening. Shen Cao and Lu Shu also looked out the window. They saw 4 soldiers on the street, banging gongs and shouting, "Tomorrow is the Golden Chrysanthemum Festival. The winner can receive 10 taels of silver. Those who want to participate, hurry up and register." "What kind of festival is the Golden Chrysanthemum Festival?" Lu Shu asked Shen Cao, who shook his head to mean that he also don't know. It was Zhang Moyang, who came back gasping for breath, who told them the answer. As soon as he entered, he kept gasping for breath, "You little rascal, you made me run all over the place. If I hadn't run into Hui Shang, who said that you might have come back." "Where's Hui Shang?" Lu Shu looked behind him, but there was no one there. "He's downstairs registering." Zhang Moyang picked up the teapot and took a few sips of tea directly, catching his breath before saying, "The Golden Chrysanthemum Festival is a unique festival here. It's just an archery competition. The son of the county magistrate loves horseback archery and wants to find a group of people to play with, so he came up with the idea of organizing a group of people to accompany him in the competition during this day every year. It started as a small affair, but later more and more wealthy and influential people joined in, pouring money into the competition, making it more and more grand." Shen Cao frowned, "Isn't this an abuse of power? Why is no one stopping it? Who's going to stop it? We're far from the capital and the county magistrate is the highest authority we have here. If we don't want trouble at home, it's better to just cooperate. Besides, this competition isn't completely useless. After all, there's really 10 taels of silver to be won, which is more enjoyable than planting fields for a few months, isn't it?" Zhang Moyang continued, "Moreover, quite a few people practice in advance just for the chance to take the prize." "Are you participating?" Lu Shu asked. "Do you think I need those 10 taels?" Zhang Moyang snorted, raising his chin proudly. "Our family provides the competition venue, so I'm an honored guest. My only responsibility is to watch those people compete. No wonder you said it's better to cooperate, it's a collusion between officials and businessmen." Lu Shu hit the nail on the head. "It can't be helped. If we don't agree, some people are eager to provide venues and other things. This is a great opportunity to cooperate with the government. You wouldn't understand." "Hey!" Lu Shu thought to himself that he understood much more than Zhang Moyang did. It's just that he didn't like dealing with government officials. It was better to be a carefree dandy than a lapdog of the government officials. Lu Shu suddenly looked at Shen Cao, who had been silent all this time, and thought that in the future when he participated in the imperial examination, would Shen Cao also become the type he hated the most? What should he do then? Should he still marry Shen Cao, and whose surname would the child take? Oh, wait, he couldn't give birth. Great, one problem was solved so quickly. "What are you thinking?" Zhang Moyang saw his expression change from sunny to cloudy, then back to sunny again, and couldn't help but shiver as he thought, he couldn't be thinking about anything perverted, right? Shen Cao also looked over, and Lu Shu immediately regained his composure, asking with a pretense of calmness, "Why did Hui Shang register? Is he good at archery, or did he just want those 10 taels of silver?" "He wants the silver, but he can't shoot," Zhang Moyang said. "Then why did he register?" "He registered for you guys, didn't you know?" "What?" Lu Shu was shocked. "He said it's your chance to make money. Whether you participate or not, there are always many people trying their luck every year, and you can even get a free lunch. Other merchants provide the lunch, claiming it's a gesture of gratitude to the people. Though in reality, they were just trying to curry favor with the county magistrate." "Lu Shu, free lunch? Count me in." Zhang Moyang, ... He's giving in just like that? He was just about to storm out and punch someone a moment ago. Excitedly rubbing his hands, Lu Shu said, "Ah cow, let's go taste this lavish lunch." "Sure, I was actually thinking the same thing." Shen Cao smiled. Seeing their helpless appearance, Zhang Moyang decided to bring his sister over to watch the spectacle, so she could see for herself that just having a pretty face isn't enough for a man. Maybe she could even find a decent man at the competition. Early the next morning, Lu Shu and Shen Cao packed up and led by Hui Shang, headed to the venue. The location was an open area outside the city gate, surrounded by mountains. Large tents were set up on both sides for government officials and some merchants to rest and watch. Zhang Moyang and his sister were among them. Will Cao Shen really come? Zhang Moshan asked again. He will. Zhang Moyang looked around for a while before finally spotting three familiar figures walking in. They stood out among the crowd of robust men, looking too refined, too handsome, too bald. Look, there they are. Zhang Moyang pointed. Walking outside the tent, Zhang Moshan took a look and was about to go over, but a man suddenly appeared and blocked her path. Young Miss Zhang, it's been a while. How have you been? It was Fang Qiang, the county magistrate's son. Zhang Moyang gritted his teeth inwardly. This guy had been interested in his sister for a long time and had even come to propose several times, but was politely rejected each time with the excuse that she was still too young. Now that she's old enough, it was harder to use that excuse anymore. It would have been a good match to have a relationship with the county magistrate's family, but unfortunately, this Fang Qiang is just too ugly. His features are like they were squeezed together, making him look weird. Even his own father doubted the craftsmanship of Nuwa when he saw him. Could you please move aside, young Master Fang? Zhang Moshan asked expressionlessly. Why do you always avoid me whenever you see me? Are you shy? Fang Qiang teased. Zhang Moshan, ... Zhang Moyang, ... At this moment, Lu Shu and the others walked over as Zhang Moyang promised to lend them some good bows and arrows for the competition. Young Master Zhang, we're here. Shen Cao said. Fang Qiang clearly felt a certain charm on Zhang Moshan's face and subconsciously looked over, only to see three handsome men. Excluding the bald one, there's two men left. Who the hell stole his woman? Zhang Moyang thought it was perfect timing and hurriedly let them into the tent. Fang Qiang also wanted to follow in but was called away by his servants to change clothes, so he could only leave for now. Although you're just here for a free meal, I'm a kind person, so I'll still place bets for you. Zhang Moyang said as he handed them the bows and arrows. Lu Shu instantly picked up on the keyword, bets. Do you think it's just purely competition? Where's the fun in that? Zhang Moyang whispered, there's also a betting pool outside. Many people are betting on Fang Qiang. For one, because his archery skills are indeed good, and two, because not many people dare to compete against him. But with more bets, the chances of winning are lower. Since you guys are my friends, I'll reluctantly give you some face so you won't be embarrassed on or off the field. Lu Shu's eyes flashed, and he smiled suggestively at Zhang Moshan. Zhang Moshan, ... The competition lasted the whole day, with group matches in the morning and individual matches at the end. The first round was with 10 people in each group, with only 10 winning teams advancing to the next round. This round eliminated most participants, but those eliminated could still get the simplest porridge, noodles, and steamed buns. People on the field started to pick teammates. Lu Shu walked around, relying on his excellent social skills, and joined someone else's group with Shen Cao and Hui Shang. Zhang Moyang sat on the platform, analyzing the current situation with his sister. Fang Qiang already has fixed teammates and their skills is strong. As for Xiao Wu's side, they chose a skinny man, a short and weak woman, 2 kids, and 3 old guys who were barely hanging on. Are they here just to mooch a meal? They were weak to begin with, and now they've joined a group of the old, weak, sick, and disabled. Do you really want to join us? The middle-aged man held his family and looked guilty. We just wanted to come for a meal. It's okay, Lu Shu reassured him. Do we look like winners to you? The man glanced at them, one refined lad after another, and couldn't help but smile. Soon, many ordinary people came to watch outside, making it a rare lively scene. The competition started quickly. Observant people noticed two unforgettable men in the group of the old, weak, sick, and disabled along with a monk, but due to the very ordinary archery skills of the others, their attention was quickly attracted by the stronger teams. The competition was simultaneous, with each team shooting at one target, and the final score was calculated. Lu Shu arranged them in order, observing the performance of other teams and checking his own team's scores. In that family, only the middle-aged man and one of the kids could barely hit the target. Shen Cao and Hui Shang could also hit the target, but their positions were a bit off. Fang Qiang's team has finished. Zhang Moyang's attention was also drawn to the strong team. After they finished, he looked towards Lu Shu's team and was just about to speak, but found that his sister was no longer by his side. He looked around in confusion, and Zhang Moshan reappeared. "Where did you go?" To do something, Zhang Moshan took a sip of water and asked, "What's the situation now? If nothing unexpected happens, Fang Qiang's team should be first." "Xiao Wu's team? Oh, they've also finished." Zhang Moyang looked at the sky. "Well, it's time to pack up and prepare to go back." "Don't be in a hurry, the results haven't been announced yet. What's there to wait for? Aren't you afraid that Fang Qiang will come to show off in front of you again? I mean Cao Shen's team's result. The result is obvious, isn't it?" From a distance, Zhang Moyang couldn't see the exact situation on the target, but he didn't think they would achieve much. Just as he was about to leave, he heard the proctor announce the top 10 winning teams. And Lu Shu's team, with his group of the old, weak, sick, and disabled, happened to be in 10th place. What? Did they got lucky? Zhang Moyang jumped back suddenly. How did they manage that? Zhang Moshan looked at him quietly and didn't say a word. In the next round, teams would be reorganized, with the remaining people divided into 5 groups, and 2 groups would be eliminated in the end. Lu Shu chose to merge with a team that performed decently in the previous matches. Their judgment is off. The team next to them is second only to Fang Qiang's team. Why didn't they choose that one? Zhang Moyang scratched his head in frustration. This round lasted a bit longer, ending amidst the continuous cheers from the audience. Zhang Moyang clasped his hands together, praying intently, "May the Buddha bless us, may the Buddha bless us." Coincidentally, Lu Shu's team had another stroke of luck and barely made it into the top 3. As the competition paused for lunchtime, although there were meals provided by merchants, Zhang Moyang directly called the 3 of them into the big tent for a special meal. They enjoyed delicious food and drinks, except for Hui Shang, who could only eat some boiled vegetables. "This time, you really have me to thank. If it weren't for me and the blessings of the Buddha, how could you have made it to the individual competition?" Zhang Moyang said proudly. "Well, thank you then. Continue to pray for us in the afternoon," Lu Shu said. "Sure thing." Hui Shang and Shen Cao exchanged a glance, with complex emotions in each of their eyes. They smiled at each other. The afternoon was the real competition, with everyone fighting individually, and no one could rely on others. "You've come this far, beyond what I imagined. Don't push yourselves too hard, and don't cry later. A man shouldn't shed tears." Zhang Moyang encouraged them, watching them go to the arena. Lu Shu waved his hand without looking back, while Shen Cao checked his equipment and pulled the bowstring. Hui Shang scratched his head. He only casually signed up to get a free meal. How did he end up here? Outside, people were already applauding and cheering for the competitors, especially those who had bet on Fang Qiang. Fang Qiang had the loudest cheers and he seemed to enjoy the attention, standing in the center of the arena and waving to everyone. Making such a big scene just to satisfy his vanity. Lu Shu, who was formerly fond of such events, couldn't bear to watch him. Shen Cao looked around and whispered to Hui Shang, "Did the county magistrate not come?" He only shows up during the awards ceremony, probably to protect his reputation. The entire event is presided over by his steward. I'm not educated, but I want to ask if this is what you intellectuals call wanting to be both the prostitute and the one stealing the man. Shen Cao immediately looked at him, his eyes full of warning, and he changed his tone, wanting to be both the widow and the one stealing the man. Hui Shang chuckled. Meanwhile, the new targets were ready. With 10 people per round, Shen Cao and Hui Shang were in the first few groups, with average scores and no hope of winning, so they returned to the big tent one after another. Not bad at all. I thought you would have been eliminated in the morning, but I didn't expect such good luck. It's already good enough to you have made it this far, Zhang Moyang comforted them kindly. If you feel like crying later, you can come find me, and I'll take you out for a drink. Grr, do you see any hint of sadness in their faces? Zhang Moshan couldn't help but remind him. Zhang Moyang was taken aback and looked closely. The two guys were standing in front of the tent, talking and laughing, discussing whether to ride horses or donkeys back to the village tomorrow. They're in good spirits. But this is all luck. Who said we're relying on luck? Hui Shang suddenly interjected, smiling. Have you even watched the competition properly? How could I not? I was itching to join in. You were watching Fang Qiang's team in the morning, right? Not just you, everyone was. So, you didn't notice that Xiao Wu's arrows were fast and steady. That was a different Xiao Wu than usual. When Lu Shu pulled the bow, his casual demeanor faded away, replaced by a sharp gaze as he narrowed his eyes. With only one goal in mind, he forcefully extended his elbow, revealing those prominent butterfly bones, resembling a poised butterfly about to take flight. Are you joking? Zhang Moyang couldn't believe it. He took out a stool and stood on it, squinting his eyes almost shut as he grumbled, this position is no good. I can't see clearly. Soon, he saw clearly because only 2 people were left on the field. Neither Fang Qiang nor the other participants expected anyone else to remain, and they all looked at this stunning youngster. They had never seen him before, so he was likely not from the local area and thus unaware of the rules. Every year, there were only a few strong contestants, and behind the scenes, they would secretly arrange for them to lose to Master Fang, who would then secretly reward them with 20 taels each, benefiting both parties. Little did they know that this year, an unexpectedly handsome young man had emerged. Fang Qiang remembered him. He had appeared on Zhang Moshan's side, one of his potential romantic rivals, and he glared at Lu Shu with sharp eyes. Lu Shu, who was always observing courtesy, threw a flirtatious glance at him across the distance. Fang Qiang, insane. Are you playing with fire, lad? Deciding to retaliate, Fang Qiang stuck out his tongue and slowly licked from the left corner of his mouth to the right, adding a threatening tone, man, don't play with fire. Oh, my eyes. Zhang Moyang covered his eyes. Seeing this clearly isn't a good thing either. The crowd below erupted into discussion, all talking about this unknown newcomer who had seemingly appeared out of nowhere. They were on the verge of winning money and leaving, and nearly everyone in the audience was cheering for Fang Qiang. Fang Qiang proudly pulled back his bow and successively hit 4 arrows on target. The surrounding area immediately erupted into a louder cheer, and Fang Qiang proudly raised his chin, provocatively looking to the side, only to find that the opponent had already put down his bow. He looked at the target in confusion and blinked rapidly. Had he already finished shooting? All arrows hit the bullseye. Sweat dripped from his forehead as Fang Qiang tightened his grip on the bow and swiftly shot 5 more arrows. His breath became more erratic, and he almost missed the bullseye. The surrounding voices became piercing to him, and he felt as if these people had changed sides, cheering for someone else. When he caught a glimpse of Zhang Moshan from the corner of his eye, his heart skipped a beat, but then he saw the lad carelessly holding the bow and walking over to Zhang Moshan's side. The two of them were chatting, looking quite intimate. So, it's you. Fang Qiang's eyes reddened with envy, and with a loud roar, he forcefully shot an arrow. And missed. The outcome was already decided. Lu Shu raised his hand and exchanged a high five with Shen Cao. After the explosive applause, the spectators realized they had lost money and immediately followed with a chorus of lamentations. Lu Shu winked at Zhang Moshan, who turned and left helplessly. At that moment, a large hand suddenly grabbed his collar, accompanied by a furious rebuke, "Lad, who the hell are you? Where did you come from? What's wrong, Master Feng? Can't accept defeat." Lu Shu lazily raised his eyebrows. "Don't be so narrow-minded. So many people are watching. Don't make a fool of yourself by being a sore loser. You." Fang Qiang's eyes were about to burst. "Let go." Shen Cao stepped forward, silently staring at Fang Qiang and twisting his wrist outward. Fang Qiang immediately grimaced in pain and reluctantly let go. At that time, Zhang Moyang had just come over to try and defuse the situation. Suddenly he paused. It was as if he were meeting Shen Cao for the first time and didn't expect this seemingly gentle man to be quite frightening when angry. He didn't know how much strength he had exerted, but even he could feel Fang Qiang's pain. Fang Qiang frowned and turned to look at Shen Cao as he angrily said, "Who are you? Believe me, I'll make you kneel." Before he could finish his sentence, he was kicked hard in the stomach, causing him to stumble back several steps. Before he could react, another kick landed on his right shoulder, flipping him onto the ground. Lu Shu retracted his foot and casually drew out an arrow, placing it on the bow, aiming at the man's forehead with narrowed eyes, preparing to release. The situation changed too quickly. By the time the crowd reacted, the tense atmosphere had already set in, and the steward of the county magistrate quickly led people to surround Lu Shu. Zhang Moyang was sweating profusely. "It's all a misunderstanding. My friend didn't mean any harm." The steward interrupted, "He's about to shoot an arrow at the young master's face, and you call that not meaning harm? But it was young Master Feng who attacked us first." "Everyone saw it," Zhang Moyang explained. The steward looked around. With so many pairs of eyes watching, it wouldn't be easy to take someone away directly. He scolded, "But it's a fact that he openly injured someone. Xiao Wu, put away the arrows quickly. Apologize to Master Feng, and that will be the end of it," Zhang Moyang hurriedly interjected. Apologize to his grandfather. Lu Shu didn't move an inch, and the direction of the arrow moved from the forehead to Fang Qiang's mouth. "If you don't want this mouth, I can help you get rid of it." At that moment, a figure suddenly appeared in front of them, blocking his path. Lu Shu looked at Shen Cao's back and pursed his lips without speaking. Then he heard him coldly say, "If an apology must be offered, it should be young Master Feng who should apologize to Xiao Wu. Does verbally attacking not count as harming?" Lu Shu's eyelids trembled as he stared at Shen Cao's tall figure and a smile tugged at his lips. "The county magistrate is here," someone outside shouted. The steward hurriedly led the way, and Fang Qiang rubbed his stomach as he passed by, shooting a fierce glare at both of them. In no time, the county magistrate listened to the steward's account of the whole incident, took a glance over and instead of getting angry, he walked over with a smile. "Is this the young talent who won the competition? Bring the reward silver." Lu Shu received 10 taels of silver and the county magistrate invited them all to dine at their mansion. He was about to refuse, but Shen Cao accepted the invitation. The thought of having to dine with that despicable Fang Qiang made Lu Shu want to vomit. After everyone left, he whispered, "I don't want to go. I can go alone, and you can go back to the inn with Hui Shang," Shen Cao suggested. "You're going alone?" Lu Shu felt hurt. "Then I'd rather accompany you. What if that man insults you again? I can help you vent." Unable to resist, Shen Cao patted his head. "Were you angry just now because he insulted me?" "Of course. I even wanted to pull out his teeth one by one." Shen Cao chuckled and glanced at the bow in his hand, then found an excuse to speak with Zhang Moyang. He asked in a low voice, "Where did you buy this bow? How much did it cost?" It's not expensive, just around 30 taels. Since you won't be using it anyway, want to sell it to me? Sure. 30 taels? Are you sure? Zhang Moyang's expression was as if he had eaten 3 caddies of garlic in one breath. Yet, Zhang Moyang wanted to say something more, but he saw his sister returning and handing a money pouch to Lu Shu. What's this? Zhang Moyang immediately walked over. Mei, what are you doing? Note, Mei meant younger sister / Before the competition started, he borrowed a tael of silver from me, to place a bet, and this is his winnings, Zhang Moshan explained. Zhang Moyang gasped and ran outside. I almost forgot, I also placed a bet for you guys. Hui Shang looked curiously at the money pouch. How much did you win? Almost 100 taels, Lu Shu estimated as he weighed it. Hui Shang couldn't believe it. Lu Shu opened the pouch and carefully counted, 92 taels. Hui Shang widened her eyes. You earned this much in such a short time. Yet, Lu Shu took out 11 taels and returned them to Zhang Moshan, saying, the extra is your reward. No need. I only need this 1 tael. Zhang Moshan didn't lack this money and only took back her 1 tael of silver. Looking at her, Lu Shu thought that in some ways, she and Ah Cao are quite similar. If only she didn't like Ah Cao that way. In the end, Zhang Moyang only won 10 taels of silver. When he was asked why, it turned out that he had only bet 10 wen. 10 wen is still a show of goodwill. Zhang Moyang said nervously, then shouted, it's all your fault for not mentioning earlier how good you are at archery. Yet, why have I never heard you mention it before? Hui Shang also asked. Shen Cao looked at him without a word. No one asked, Lu Shu said. It's just something I casually did before. It's not worth mentioning. Zhang Moyang rolled his eyes. Haha, keep pretending. Lu Shu continued, compared to my other talents, archery is really nothing. Zhang Moyang rolled his eyes again and then got back to the point, the Fang family is hosting a banquet tonight and aside from you guys, several other families are also invited including ours. He glanced at Zhang Moshan who wanted to refuse and sighed, we can't escape this time. Zhang Moshan lowered her eyes unhappily. Sensing the change in their tone, Shen Cao asked, what's wrong? Zhang Moyang explained the situation with the toad wanting to eat swan meat with great irritation. It's difficult. If they really insist on a forced marriage one day, our family will probably find it hard to refuse. Unless, Zhang Moshan suddenly interrupted, glancing meaningfully at Shen Cao, her cheeks turning slightly red, I became engaged with someone else before that. Lu Shu's eyelashes trembled and he instinctively looked at Shen Cao. Shen Cao glanced around, Zhang Moyang wanted to interrupt but was at a loss for what to do, scratching his head in frustration, while Hui Shang's eyes sparkled, not knowing whether he was looking forward to witnessing a romance or anticipating a gossip. However, Lu Shu avoided his gaze, bowing his head to touch the bowstring. Zhang Moshan's gaze fell directly on him. She hadn't intended to reveal her feelings so soon, but since her brother had already blurted it out after drinking, hiding it would only be self-deception. It was better to take a gamble now. Winning would be great but if she lost, so be it. Thank you for your consideration young Miss Zhang, but I already have an engagement. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Shen Cao said warmly. The bowstring suddenly emitted a rapid buzzing sound. Lu Shu looked at him in disbelief but before he could speak, Zhang Moshan asked in surprise, but didn't you say you didn't like anyone? Yes, I've never met that person before. This is an engagement arranged by my parents. The rest of his words didn't need to be said, as it was clear that when parents ordered, matchmakers obeyed. Since there was already an engagement, it wouldn't be appropriate to break it off easily and embarrass the other party. The blush on Zhang Moshan's face gradually faded as she lowered her head slowly. Oh, I understand. I already told you earlier that this lad isn't suitable for you. Zhang Moyang snorted coldly, pulling her away first. Let's go, let's go. Tomorrow, I'll find a group of men for you to choose from. Grr, you're going the wrong way. After watching the siblings leave, Shen Cao finally breathed a sigh of relief. He had been wanting to find an opportunity to explain things to Zhang Moshan to prevent her from having expectations. After thinking it through, the engagement was the best excuse. We should be going, too, he said to Lu Shu, but found the other still standing there in a daze, his expression complicated, like he had swallowed arsenic, unable to swallow or spit it out. Shen Cao reached out and shook his hand in front of Lu Shu's face. Snap out of it. What are you thinking? You, Lu Shu looked at him, feeling heartbroken, are such a good person. How did you end up engaged? End chapter.